Our story kicks off with an insane battle, as two rivals face off in a deadly silence, the tension practically exploding in the air. With a look of contempt, the white-haired sorceress prepares her attack, determined to eliminate any threat. Smirking from the corner of his mouth, our MC doesn't seem to care about the danger. He's just that confident in his own skills. Moving in the blink of an eye, he slices through the wind and lunges at her, aiming to end it all with a single strike. As their blades collide, a shockwave rips through the landscape, proving that their strength is simply monstrous. Locked in a fierce struggle, sparks fly everywhere, but neither warrior dares to retreat a single inch. Pressing the attack, the guy tries to break her defense, but he realizes her magical barrier is impenetrable. Conjuring a forbidden power, the villainess's eyes glow as she unleashes a dark energy that makes the ground tremble. Bursting from the earth, gigantic ice pillars emerge from nowhere, turning the field into a deadly trap. Getting the worst of the exchange, he's hit square by the magic and sent flying, unable to resist the brutal impact. Feeling his body lock up, the hero collapses to the ground as the intense cold begins to freeze him to the bone. Bleeding and dazed, his confidence vanishes as he realizes he completely underestimated this woman's power. Staring into the void, dark thoughts flood his mind, and it finally sinks in that this could be game over for him. Remembering his allies, fear grips his chest. He promised he'd come back alive, and now he sees no way out. Admitting temporary defeat, he recognizes he bit off more than he could chew and feels the weight of exhaustion crush his body. Floating in the void, his consciousness slowly returns as distant voices echo in the darkness. Suddenly opening his eyes, the guy wakes up startled, as if he's just returned from a terrible nightmare. Looking at his reflection in the glass, he finds his own image strange, as something about his face seems very different. With a faint smile, the MC realizes he's alive, and that alone is reason enough to be thankful. Turning his head, the sunlight bothers his eyes, showing that a new day has already begun outside. Staring at his own hands, his body feels unfamiliar, as if he hadn't used it in a very long time. Slowly opening his palm, he carefully analyzes every movement to make sure there are no lasting injuries. Clenching his fist tightly, our hero tests his muscle strength and is satisfied with the firm result. Standing in the middle of the room, the silence is broken only by his jumbled thoughts about the past. Shouting with joy, a friend bursts into the room with drinks in hand, ready to celebrate his recovery. Sitting at the table, the food and drinks help them relax as they excitedly catch up. Taking a cold sip, the guy feels the taste of life returning to normal after so much chaos. Staring at the calendar on the wall, the shock is inevitable when he realizes how long he was out of it. Placing the glass on the table, his hand trembles slightly as the news of the lost time hits him like a ton of bricks. Falling silent, the weight of reality hits hard, and worry about the future begins to haunt his mind once more. Waving goodbye to his friend, he offers a slight smile, knowing that now he needs to focus on what truly matters. Sitting in front of his PC, the dark room is lit only by the glow of the monitor, his sole companion. Typing rapidly, his fingers fly across the keyboard as he searches for the latest information about the game. Reading the final message, the screen displays the server shutdown notice, leaving a sense of nostalgia in the air. Playing until the very last second, our guy savors the final moments in the virtual world he loves so much. Looking at the Marshmallow God game poster, he reminisces about the epic adventures he had in that digital universe. Scrolling through his news feed, several articles comment on the shutdown and the impact it had on the community. Focusing on the screen, his expression turns serious, as he knows something huge is about to happen at the end. Chatting in the global channel, farewells from other players fill the screen with emotion and sadness. Counting down the seconds, the digital clock marks the remaining time until the system's complete shutdown. Seeing the chaos on social media, it seems like the whole world has stopped to watch this historic event. Receiving a strange notification, a pop-up window appears on the screen with a mysterious message. Waiting in the dark, the silence of his room contrasts with the storm of data rushing through the network. Glowing intensely, the monitor suddenly emits a blinding light that floods the room. Staring into the unknown, he is swallowed by the light, unaware that his life is about to change forever. Relaxing in his chair, he watches the final progress as the system merges the two realities. Hearing a strange noise, his attention turns outside as the atmosphere suddenly grew heavy. Reading the warning, the screen confirms that synchronization has reached its limit and the game has become real. Shining brightly, the message announces the start of the tutorial and the end of peace on Earth as we know it. Falling asleep, his body instantly shuts down as his mind is transported to the new era. Appearing in the city, portals open up, bringing creatures that once only existed in pixels. Attacking without mercy, wild beasts turn the streets into a scene from a bloody horror movie. Watching the chaos, a couple freezes in fear as they see the massacre happening right in front of them. Landing firmly, the MC touches down on the asphalt, showing that not everyone is defenseless in this mess. Walking calmly, our hero strolls down the sidewalk, completely ignoring the widespread panic around him. Checking his status, he sees that his skills are gone but smiles because his knowledge remains intact. Facing the danger, a monster rabbit with red eyes thirsty for human flesh appears out of nowhere. Activating magic, a purple aura envelopes the air, signaling that the first strike will be fatal. Screaming in terror, a newbie holds a wooden sword, trembling as he comes face to face with his potential end. Closing in, the creatures advance for the kill while despair takes over the survivors. Slashing through the air, the beast attacks furiously, trying to tear the guy in half with its sharp claws. Effortlessly dodging, he comments that the attack was way too slow to hit him, mocking the monster. Staying calm, the MC takes a step back, letting the enemy's attack hit nothing but empty air. Roaring with rage, the rabbit quickly turns to try another deadly lunge at him. Observing its movements, our hero has already mapped out the entire attack pattern of this predictable creature. Spinning the knife, his skill with blades is clear even before the counter-attack begins. Waiting for the right moment, he lets the opponent get closer to guarantee a fatal critical hit. Held tightly, the dagger glows, ready to pierce the flesh of the reckless monster charging forward. Piercing the target, a beam of blue light explodes on impact, eliminating the threat instantly. Appearing in the air, a holographic screen announces that the broadcast system has been initiated automatically. Reading the message, he's confused by this new streaming function that popped up out of nowhere. Blinking on the screen, the viewer count starts to climb, indicating that people are watching. Looking at the comments, the chat starts to react, surprised by the fight that just happened live. Scratching his chin, the guy realizes his life has now become a show for the entire universe to see. Smiling for the camera, he decides to play along and greets his new, curious audience. Noticing the silence, he senses a change in the system and realizes the rules of the game have changed. Turning his back, the mood becomes heavy as he tries to understand the real purpose of all this. Analyzing the data, the screen confirms that his performance unlocked the live broadcast function. Receiving affection, the monster that was a threat now acts like a tame puppy by his side. Ignoring the creature, he moves on, as he has no time to waste on needy critters right now. Completing the mission, a new window glows, revealing that the tutorial has been successfully finished. Emerging from the light, an angelic figure descends from the heavens, radiating an impressive divine power. Admiring the sight, our guy is speechless before the majesty of this celestial being. Questioning her presence, he asks what such a powerful entity wants with a mere human. Spreading her wings, the angel reveals her full form, showing she didn't come to play games. With a serious expression, he weighs the goddess's words, since any mistake here could be fatal. Touching the screen, the system offers a special reward, allowing for new evolution choices. Viewing the classes, various silhouettes glow, representing the powers he can acquire. Choosing carefully, he focuses on an option that seems to perfectly match his style. Frustrated with the livestream, he notices the audience is still at 0 and that fame is going to take a while. Analyzing the screen, he's thankful that no one is watching, since fame right now would only attract unnecessary trouble. Looking around, the desolate scenery shows that the world has changed, and he needs to adapt quickly to survive. Pressing confirm, he accepts the system's challenge, ready to see what fate has in store for this new phase. With a slight smile, the guy knows that his prior knowledge is the greatest weapon he has against the dangers ahead. Admiring the barrier, the energy dome glows brightly, protecting the safe zone from the darkness outside. Walking calmly, he ignores the empty chat, since surviving is much more important than getting likes right now. Muttering to himself, he decides to keep a low profile for safety, so he doesn't become an easy target for enemies. Entering the lobby, the view from the top reveals the complex structure, where the tutorial will separate the strong from the weak. Finding the fallen, he sees that many couldn't handle the pressure and ended up paying with their lives. Taking a step forward, he prepares to intervene, knowing that just standing by isn't a viable option. Reading the data, the goblin's image appears with details, confirming the type of weak but annoying threat that's coming. Observing from a distance, the horde approaches like a green plague, ready to destroy everything in its path. Invading the building, the monsters attack in a group, overwhelming the improvised defense of the desperate humans. Trying to defend himself, a man uses a makeshift spear, but fear makes his hands tremble nonstop. Panicking, the group retreats in disarray as screams for help echo through the bloody hallway. Tearing through the defense, the goblins advance with savagery, cornering the survivors who scream in terror. Slicing through enemies, our MC appears like a lightning bolt, eliminating the creatures with surgical precision. Bowing in gratitude, the group acknowledges they owe him their lives and don't hold back on the thank yous. Surrounding the hero, they ask in admiration what his class is to be so strong right from the start. With a confident smile, he dodges questions about his secrets but accepts the compliments naturally. Scanning the surroundings, his eyes gleam with alertness, as danger could return at any moment. Whispering in amazement, the newbies can hardly believe that a single player cleared the area with such ease. Turning his head, he realizes he's drawn too much attention and has now become a role model for everyone. Discussing the situation, they realize that no one survives alone and that unity here is vital. Pointing the way, the improvised leader gives the order to march, showing who's boss around here. Crossing his arms, he waits for the group's decision, maintaining the posture of someone who knows what he's doing. Vibrating with excitement, one of the guys is ecstatic just to be near someone so powerful. Daydreaming, he already imagines the epic adventures he'll have alongside this incredible new mentor. With a shy smile, the young man awkwardly introduces himself, trying to make a good impression on the boss. As the group gathers, the mood lightens, and the hope of surviving the tutorial is rekindled in their hearts. Begging for help, they all ask to follow him, knowing that alone they wouldn't last 5 minutes. Trying to refuse, the guy feels awkward with all the insistence and looks away, a bit embarrassed. Sensing a killer aura, he notices a figure moving in the shadows, ready for a surprise attack. Leaping from the darkness, the assassin strikes quickly, aiming for our hero's neck in a treacherous blow. With a sadistic smile, the enemy is already counting on a sure victory, thinking he caught his prey off guard. Dodging at the last second, the MC shows superhuman reflexes, escaping the blade by a hair's breadth. Grabbing the wrist, he firmly blocks the attack, showing that he's not just anyone you can take down. Twisting the arm, our guy immobilizes the attacker with a technical hold that leaves him defenseless. Pinning him to the floor, he effortlessly dominates the situation while the assassin struggles in vain. Mocking his rival, the hero comments that short swords are indeed the best for this type of combat. Clattering to the floor, the enemy's weapon is dropped, symbolizing his complete and humiliating defeat. With a cold smile, the MC threatens to snap his neck if he tries any more funny business. Striking without mercy, he knocks the guy out with a precise attack to ensure he doesn't get up again. Screaming in pain, the assassin is out cold instantly, while the rest of the group watches, jaws dropped. Wiping his hands, the guy sighs in relief, commenting that it's been a while since he dealt with rats like that. Revealing the motive, he explains that the assassin was trying to take out 10 people to unlock a rare achievement. Detailing the bonus, he says that completing this mission would grant crucial extra stats for the early game. Pointing out the fatal mistake, the MC says the guy's blunder was choosing the hardest target first. Looting the enemy, he picks up the dagger from the floor, knowing the loser won't be needing it anymore. Wiping the blood from his clothes, he acts naturally, as if he wasn't almost decapitated just moments ago. Explaining the mechanics, he points out that at low levels, skill counts for a lot more than a character's class. Turning to the group, he asks if anyone got hurt during the commotion or if they're all in one piece. Responding in unison, the newbies shout that they're great, saluting out of sheer respect for their leader. With a slight smirk, the hero finds the formality amusing and thinks that these kids are actually pretty polite. Looking around, he notices that the other survivors are also getting used to the violence. Fighting for their lives, people start to level up and turn the tide against the invading monsters. Activating the system, he decides to use the transmitter's eye skill to scan the area with precision. Focusing his vision, his eyes glow, processing data in real time as the skill sweeps the location. Mapping the scene, he sees the status of each combatant and perfectly understands the flow of the battle. Planning his content, he remembers that the departed are revived at midnight and decides to interview whoever gets taken out. Running in panic, people flee from the monsters, not realizing they're just feeding the general chaos. With a Machiavellian smile, the MC sees the perfect chance to record epic scenes to boost his livestream. Approaching a victim, he starts interviewing the poor guy, asking him what it feels like to pass on. Going berserk with rage, the assassin he had taken out earlier comes back to life, eyes filled with bloodlust and total hatred. Attacking without thinking, the villain charges, wanting revenge at all costs, ignoring any strategy. Activating a defense, a barrier of light easily blocks the blow, protecting our hero streamer. Retreating in shock, the attacker realizes his attack didn't even scratch him and starts to tremble in fear. Explaining the rules, the guy informs him that streamers have absolute protection during official broadcasts. Picking up the fallen dagger, he faces the humiliated enemy and tells him he'll have to take him out again. Spinning the blade, the cold gleam of the metal reflects the final sentence that is about to be carried out. Striking without pity, the brutal impact ends the assassin's second life in the blink of an eye. Ending the stream, he says goodbye to the audience, lamenting having to get his hands dirty, but it's all part of the show. Thinking about his performance, he concludes that he did pretty well for a first broadcast in the apocalypse. Appearing on screen, a new famous character is introduced as Egan Paul, an elite American streamer. Flaunting his rank, the Golden Crest confirms that this Egan guy is one of the strongest players in the world. Smiling for the camera, Egan introduces himself as one of the first to master this new chaotic reality. Kneeling on the ground, he felt the weight of the change firsthand when a new era dawned before his eyes. Using his knowledge, he leveled up at an insane speed, securing his name at the top of the rankings. Talking to his agent, he demands results, knowing that fame is the only fuel that matters. Explaining the strategy, the blonde says the channel needs to grow, no matter the cost, to stay relevant. Shouting indignantly, the manager complains about the absurd risks Egan takes just to get views. Ignoring the warnings, he sits in front of the PC, focused only on how to keep his throne in this world. Reflecting on his goal, he knows that reaching his level was hard, but staying there will be much worse. Retorting to his boss, the man in glasses points out that the audience wants blood, not just pretty faces. With a confident smile, Egan guarantees that he knows exactly what the public wants to see in the next broadcast. Staring at the blue screen, the next mission glows before him like an invitation to another spectacular show. Vibrating with ambition, he declares that he will solidify his position as the absolute #1 in this game. Remembering his partnerships, he's already collared with every type of rancor just to leech their audiences. Investing heavily, his team even hired elite scriptwriters to ensure the drama is real. Stating with pride, he claims there isn't a more entertaining channel than his on the entire planet. Surprising everyone, a message appears, announcing that the hidden objective has been successfully completed. Reading the notice, the guy discovers that taking out 100 goblins unlocked a rare secret achievement. Flashing on the screen, the system informs that a new hidden collectible is being activated at that moment. Turning his head, he feels a shift in the environment's energy, as if something much worse is coming. Appearing in the shadows, the notification reveals that the Goblin Lord has awakened and is furious about the massacre. Staring down the hall, pairs of red eyes glow in the darkness, heralding the arrival of the elite horde. Forming a magic circle, red runes ignite on the floor, indicating where the big boss will now appear. Protecting the group, the MC positions himself in front, ordering everyone to retreat immediately. Opening his eyes, he realizes the gravity of the situation, as facing a boss of this level is no joke. Conjuring defenses, protection spells are activated around them to ensure no one goes down for free. Watching the circle, the magical energy intensifies, and the air becomes heavy with the monster's crushing pressure. Whispering fearfully, the newbies ask what's happening as they shrink back in pure terror. Stomping heavily, the giant orc emerges from the summon with a colossal axe, ready to crush skulls. Getting into his stance, our hero knows this fight will require much more than just simple tricks. Looking at the screen, he sees a new blue window offering a choice that could change the course of the battle. Ordering firmly, he tells them that if they want to live, they must leave the boss to him now. Observing its prey, the giant orc drools with hunger as its eyes scan the area for victims. Entering the hall, the beast's overwhelming presence makes the newbie's knees knock with fear. Activating his taunt, his eyes glow intensely to draw all the monster's fury towards him. Snapping his fingers, he uses a simple sound trick to ensure he is the focus of the attack. Frozen in terror, one of the allies almost screams, but the fear prevents him from making any sound. Grabbing his companion, the hero covers his mouth, preventing the noise from attracting certain doom. Whispering the secret, he explains that these creatures are blind and react only to the slightest noise. Explaining the tactic, he instructs the group to move in absolute silence if they want to escape. Walking towards his end, he offers himself as live bait, allowing the others to flee safely. Understanding the mechanic, he confirms that the enemy's attack pattern is entirely based on hearing. Creating a distraction, he throws an object far away, making a sharp sound echo through the empty corridor. Turning its head, the monster immediately detects the sound and focuses its attention on the point of impact. Leaping with fury, the beast launches into the air, preparing a devastating blow with its giant axe. Smashing the ground, the weapon comes down violently, creating a crater where seconds before there was only silence. Falling to the ground, a clumsy person makes a noise and ends up attracting the attention of death itself. Eyes widening, He realizes the fatal mistake he's made and feels his blood run cold. Trying to get up, panic locks his legs, preventing any chance of escape at that moment. Watching from a distance, the hero silently laments, knowing there's nothing he can do now. Reaching out his hand, the guy begs for help into the void as the giant shadow covers him. Holding his breath, fear completely paralyzes his body in the face of the inevitable and brutal end. Turning its head, the orc locates the trembling prey and prepares for an immediate kill. Raising its weapon, the monster grips the axe with both hands to ensure maximum damage. Shouting a warning, the MC tries to alert the others not to watch the horrible scene. Slicing through the air, the axe comes down, crushing the victim and the floor in a single devastating impact. Hearing the silence, the beast sharpens its hearing, searching for the next revealing sound in the environment. Turning its body, the boss looks for new targets, completely ignoring the mangled corpse on the floor. Crawling quickly, a survivor takes advantage of the opening from the massacre to move away from the danger. Keeping his cool, the guy studies the enemy's attack pattern to plan his offensive. Leaping high, the orc begins a new aerial assault with its axe, thirsty for more blood. Hitting empty space, the axe gets stuck in the wall, because our hero was quick enough to dodge at the last second. Running along the wall, the guy uses the environment to his advantage, building momentum for an aerial counter-attack. Holding his dagger, he focuses on the monster's exposed weak spot as he glides through the air. Diving with full force, the MC descends, precisely plunging the blade into the giant beast's eye. Roaring in agony, the orc stumbles, blinded by pain, trying to pull the dagger out of its face. Landing on his feet, the hero strikes a stylish pose, showing complete control of the bloody battlefield. Seizing the opportunity, he moves in for the finish, attacking the enemy's legs to bring it down for good. Slashing its tendons, the monster loses its balance and collapses to the floor, making the whole building shake. Climbing onto its back, he scales the mountain of muscle, ready to deliver the final mercy blow. Whispering in its ear, the guy taunts the creature before sending its soul to the underworld. With a sadistic smile, the MC repeatedly stabs with the dagger until the giant stops moving. Ceasing to breathe, the colossal body lies still, confirming our streamer's brutal victory. Raising his arms, he celebrates the achievement as the boss's blood bathes his new clothes. Gaining experience, the system window glows, announcing that he has leveled up once again. Looking at the camera, he smiles covered in red, and asks if the audience enjoyed the grim show. Catching his breath, he comments that it was a good fight, and that the monster served as a decent warm-up. Staring at the loot on the ground, a shining item catches his eye, as boss drops are always valuable. Analyzing the prize, he discovers it's a rare piece of equipment, perfect for increasing his power. Stashing the treasure, the guy tells the survivor that luck was on their side this time. Looking around the hall, the group breathes a sigh of relief, seeing that the nightmare is finally over, thanks to the streamer. Letting his guard down, the guy on the floor is still trembling, trying to process the brutality he just witnessed. With a slight smirk, the hero notices the trauma in the other's eyes but knows it's all part of the game. Reading the message, the system announces the end of the tutorial and the distribution of final rewards for everyone. Receiving his bonus, he sees that his performance has earned him extra prizes that will make him even more OP. Activating the teleport, a blue light begins to envelop his body, indicating it's time to depart. Waving to the camera, he bids farewell to the audience, promising the next stream will be even better. Screaming in panic, the newbie begs not to be left behind, as he doesn't want to be alone there. Turning his back, the MC moves on, ignoring the pleas since he's not anyone's babysitter. Walking towards the light, he leaves the scene of death behind, focused only on his own goals. With a satisfied smile, he ends the show on a high note, knowing he's gained many fans with this slaughter. Saying goodbye to the crew, he tells them they'll meet in the real world later, as now everyone goes their own way. Screaming in desperation, the guy begs not to be abandoned alone in that dangerous place. Feeling a chill, an evil presence emerges from the shadows, making the air heavy and suffocating. Appearing from nowhere, a hooded figure shows up behind the group, emanating a terrifying murderous aura. Grabbing the victim, the stranger asks why there's so much noise while holding the poor guy tightly. Crying tears of blood, the hooded figure's red eyes gleam with madness, revealing he's not normal. With a macabre smile, he lifts the student by the neck as if he were a light rag doll. Choking for air, the guy struggles, trying to break free from the hands mercilessly crushing his throat. Staring at his prey, the killer shows pure pleasure in others, suffering with a psychopathic smile. Stopping in his tracks, the MC hears the commotion and looks back, realizing something has gone wrong. Glancing sideways, the villain notices he's been spotted but doesn't seem to care one bit. Leaping with agility, he moves quickly to eliminate the witnesses before they can react. Kicking with force, he knocks down another survivor, showing his physical strength is absurd and lethal. Halting his step, the hero hesitates in the corridor, knowing that intervening now could cost him dearly. Cowering in fear, a girl protects herself with green magic as chaos unfolds around her. Trembling in terror, the girl mutters words of protection, breaking out in a cold sweat in the face of the chaos. Seeing their fallen comrade, the group panics at the sight of their friend unconscious on the cold floor. Comforting the injured, they try to stick together while fear erodes everyone's sanity. Guarding the entrance, they realize the exit is blocked and that there's nowhere to run. Entwined in roots, the protective sphere glows, pulsing with ancient magic to keep evil at bay. Analyzing the barrier, the system identifies a rare defensive formation made of druid vines. Sighing wearily, the MC complains that he gets nothing for helping newbies who are nothing but trouble. Tapping on the wood, he tests the strength of the protection and comments that it's actually pretty strong. Getting their attention, he yells for whoever is inside to open up, because he doesn't have all day. Ignoring the request, the person inside remains in absolute silence, afraid it's a trap. Threatening to leave, he warns that if they don't cooperate, he'll leave them there to become monster food. Opening a crack, the roots begin to move slowly, revealing who is hiding. Peeking through the gap, he sees the frightened face of the girl who created the plant fortress. With a friendly smile, the hero tries to calm things down, showing he didn't come to harm anyone. Screaming in fright, the girl backs away, as his blood-soaked appearance doesn't exactly inspire trust. Climbing the stairs, he reaches the platform and comes face to face with wild beasts drooling with hunger. Snarling loudly, the wolf prepares to pounce but freezes mid-air upon feeling our hero's absurd pressure. Eyes widening, the monster realizes it has bitten off more than it can chew and backs away in terror. Turning into a joke, the dangerous pack cowers like tame puppies, ruining the fun of the fight. Ignoring the animals, he focuses on a tangle of red roots that completely stands out from the scenery. Tapping on the plant, the MC ironically asks for permission, warning that he's coming in anyway. Peeking through the gap, his blood-covered face looks demonic to anyone seeing it from inside. Crying for his mom, the blonde boy screams in desperation, thinking his time has finally come. Frowning, the hero is confused by all the drama and tries to understand the reason for the whole scene. Sliding inside, he enters the hideout and faces the kid who looks about to faint. Pleading his innocence, he says he's not a threat, even though he looks like he just walked out of a horror movie. Introducing himself as Yamada, he says he's just a curious streamer looking for good content. Shaking like a leaf, the survivor can't calm down and remains paralyzed with terror. Holding the knife, the boy points the blade fearfully while hearing comments about his ridiculous name. Leaning against the shelf, the MC offers a listening ear in case the guy wants to vent about his traumas. Replying that he just wants to survive, the boy admits he's been hiding there for a long time, scared to death. Kneeling on the floor, he begs not to be hurt, showing total submission and weakness. Bringing his face close, the hero stares at the kid up close, wanting to know if he's really worth the trouble. Lightly intimidating him, he asks what the guy has to offer in exchange for protection in this hellhole. Sitting next to him, he starts to negotiate, knowing that in this world, nobody helps anyone for free. Looking at the camera, the streamer announces he's going to help the scaredy cat, but it's going to cost him. Peeking fearfully, the blonde watches every move cautiously, still not fully trusting the stranger. Raising his hand, the MC promises to get him out of there alive if he does exactly as he's told. Explaining the plan, he guarantees the way out is easier than it looks, but requires courage and speed. Listening attentively, the boy starts to feel a glimmer of hope after so long in the dark. Agreeing to everything, he accepts being the channel's assistant, as long as he doesn't have to face any monsters. With a satisfied smile, the hero seals the deal with a handshake, cementing the new, unlikely partnership. Beaming with joy, the newbie feels protected for the first time and even forgets his fear for a moment. Reading the mission, the system updates the objective, asking them to survive together for 7 consecutive days. Preparing to leave, they stand up, ready to face the world outside, which is still full of dangers. Explaining the situation, he warns that the root barrier won't last forever and they need to leave soon. Watching the plant, it begins to wither as the magical energy sustaining it is running out. Analyzing the status, the system shows that the ability consumes a lot of mana, and the boy is already at his limit. Swallowing his tears, the blonde agrees to deactivate the defense, even knowing he'll be exposed to danger. Looking at the stairs, the path to the surface seems long, but it's the only possible escape route now. Hearing a click, a suspicious noise echoes in the room, making both of their hearts pound. Walking cautiously, They advance through the corridor, expecting the worst with every step they take in the dark. Sensing danger, our hero's instincts scream a warning as something moves quickly in the shadows. Snarling lowly, the wolf pack surrounds the duo, blocking their path with eyes glowing with pure hunger. Stepping forward, he puts himself in front to protect the newbie, since he promised to get him out alive. Leaping for the kill, the alpha wolf leads the attack, wanting to rip out the intrusive human's throat. Striking quickly, the MC intercepts the beast in mid-air with a fluid and violent move. Watching from afar, the boy can barely keep up with the speed of the fight and is left speechless by the scene. Dropping an item, a golden box appears from the defeated monster, indicating the reward was worth the effort. Going up the ramp, the path is finally clear, and the light at the end of the tunnel indicates the subway exit. Talking in private, the hero and his new assistant exchange vital information about the future of their partnership. Explaining the rules, he makes it clear that obedience is crucial if the boy doesn't want to meet an early end. Receiving the mission, a blue notification appears on the screen, announcing that a hidden objective has been unlocked. Reading the text, the system confirms that finding the monster creator is the key to the next level. In shock, the MC realizes the task is much more difficult than he had imagined. Whimpering softly, a lost little dog appears in the corridor, wagging its tail with hope. Looking at the animal, the streamer finds it strange for a pet to appear here in the middle of the apocalypse. Getting closer, the little dog approaches with a limp, showing it has also suffered from recent attacks. Petting it, he tries to gain the trust of the animal, which seems extremely scared and hungry. Offering food, our hero pulls a treat from his inventory to calm the little animal's stomach. Barking happily, the dog accepts the treat and begins to eat voraciously, as if it hasn't seen food in days. Gathering the pack, other dogs appear from the shadows, attracted by the smell and the human's kindness. Playing with them, the heavy atmosphere dissolves for a moment, bringing a bit of peace to the chaos. Noticing their loyalty, he realizes these animals could be very useful if properly trained now. With a satisfied smile, the MC decides to adopt the canine gang as part of his support team. Descending from the heavens, the angel Gabriel appears, asking what the humans have come to seek in that sacred place. Feeling the pressure, the hero takes a step back, as her divine aura is too heavy to ignore. Floating majestically, she introduces herself as a celestial messenger, ready to judge sinners. With a contemptuous smile, the blonde girl analyzes the group with a superior look, typical of someone in charge. Issuing the order, she points her finger and announces that the MC has been chosen to be her new servant. Demanding obedience, the angel doesn't even consider refusal as an option, as her word is absolute law. Watching the scene, the newbie is lost, not knowing whether to worship the goddess or run for his life. Invading his space, Gabriel gets her face right up to the blonde boy's, making him blush with sheer embarrassment. Staring intently, she leaves the poor guy breathless with such proximity and supernatural beauty. Cutting the mood, the hero interrupts the game, asking what the catch is with this offer. Questioning the cost, he throws it in her face that the price to heal her arm is way too steep. Freezing on the spot, the angel's expression shifts from arrogant to that of someone caught red-handed. Blushing furiously, she realizes he's figured out her hidden intentions and is left speechless. Exploding with rage, Gabriel yells that she would never perform a miracle for free for inferior beings. Throwing a fit, the goddess stumps on the ground indignantly while they watch her little show with boredom. Ignoring the goddess's tantrum, he turns his attention back to the little dog looking at him with gratitude and loyalty. Watching the affection, the angel floats around pouting, as she can't accept being replaced by a mangy animal. Petting the animal's head, the guy feels its soft fur and realizes he's gained a faithful friend. Wagging its tail frantically, the doggy enjoys the affection, showing it's very happy with its new owner. Falling from the inventory, 2 juicy sausages appear to feed the hungry beast, which starts salivating immediately. Her eyes widening, Gabriel is outraged to see such valuable food being wasted like that. Appearing in the air, a bright white feather floats gently, revealed to be a divine class item. Reading the description, the system confirms that the angel's feather is a rare material used for forging weapons. Puffing out her chest, the blonde girl smiles smugly, stating that any part of her body is worth a fortune. Fighting over the treasure, the 2 little ones start a funny squabble, chasing each other around the room. Screaming hysterically, she demands the dog let go of her sacred feather before it gets all slobbery. Sighing with boredom, the MC ignores the childish commotion as he needs to focus on his own gains. Holding a golden vial, the intense glow illuminates his face, indicating a powerful reward. Analyzing the liquid, the screen shows its divine nectar, capable of permanently increasing all stats. Drinking the contents, an explosion of light envelops his body as sacred power floods his veins. Smiling in the shadows, an evil presence awakens, sensing the scent of chaos spreading through the air. Taking form, the purple energy condenses, revealing that a new evil has just been born into the world. Rising from the fire, the demonic silhouette comes to life, bringing with it the promise of total destruction. Shining brightly, the divine light tries to resist, but the darkness advances, swallowing any hope. Watching from above, the dark figure lands silently, marking the beginning of a real nightmare. Beating rapidly, the monster's heart echoes in the void as a sadistic smile appears in the darkness. Spinning in the air, the dark aura intensifies, preparing the ground for the arrival of the Demon King. Revealing his face, the Dark Lord appears, imposing and cloaked in black magic that makes everything tremble. Staring at his prey, he smiles maliciously, having found the perfect toy for his amusement. Appearing behind him, the villain catches our hero by surprise, whispering that his end has come. Taunting the guy, he asks if the fear has kicked in yet while breathing down the victim's neck. Backing away quickly, the MC tries to escape but feels a crushing pressure stopping him in his tracks. Advancing swiftly, the demon lunges in the blink of an eye, giving no chance for any reaction. Tearing through flesh, the blow hits its mark, causing blood to spurt and paint the scene red. Feeling the pain, the hero coughs up blood, shocked to realize his body is no longer responding. Mocking the fallen, the demon humiliates the defeated guy, believing victory is already his. Crushing his chest, the villain stomps with brutal force to make sure the hero's heart stops beating. Gushing blood, the MC spits red, feeling life slip away from the devastating impact on the ground. Turning his back, the monster walks away calmly, not imagining he's made the classic mistake of not checking the body. Raising the vial, our guy gets up in the shadows, holding the divine nectar, ready for a comeback. Shattering the glass, the golden light explodes, flooding the corridor and blinding the enemy with pure sacred power. Kicking him in the back, he sends the demon flying with an absurd strength that came out of nowhere. Sliding against the wall, the villain tries to steady himself, stunned and unable to understand how a near-departed human fought back. Planting his feet, the hero regains his balance, feeling the magical energy close all his wounds. Wiping his mouth, he smiles with satisfaction as the taste of divine power is as sweet and refreshing as he'd hoped. Facing the beast, his gaze changes completely, promising to return every drop of pain twofold. Cracking the glass, the pressure of the MC's aura makes the scenery tremble before his new strength. Reading the messages, the system confirms his full recovery and a drastic increase in all his stats. Cowling to the blonde, he tells his partner not to relax, as the real battle is just beginning. Discussing tactics, the duo advances down the corridor, planning their next move to survive the chaos. Asking for a time out, the blonde takes a deep breath, as so much new information has nearly fried his fragile brain. Opening the virtual shop, the system displays bread and water costing a fortune for the survivors. Discussing resources, the hero teaches the newbie to spend wisely to avoid starving. Receiving the notification, the blue screen confirms that their partnership has activated a rare hidden event. Jaw dropped, the guy stares at the notice, unable to believe that luck has finally smiled on him. Scratching his head, he tries to process that he's now part of a special high-level mission. Observing the lobby, they see groups of scared people trying to organize amidst the chaos. Walking confidently, the MC guides his assistant through the crowd, ignoring the curious stares. Pulling hard, an old woman grabs the boy's arm, aggressively demanding help. Screaming in his face, the woman demands protection as if it were their obligation to take care of strangers. Putting a hand to his forehead, the boy is embarrassed, not knowing how to handle the old woman's outburst. Stepping in front, the hero firmly breaks up the fight, protecting his ally from the madness. Pointing to an empty spot, he tells the woman to sit down and calm down if she doesn't want to be left behind. With a charismatic smile, he lies through his teeth to calm things down and get out of there without a fight. Dragging his friend away, the duo escapes the confusion, as they have no time to waste on ungrateful people. Surrounding the pair, the survivors demand food, thinking they have hidden supplies in their backpacks. Erupting from the ground, giant roots burst from nowhere, violently throwing the aggressors away. Watching with his arms crossed, the MC doesn't even move, as the safe zone's defense acts on its own. Noticing the threat, the blonde realizes that attacking inside the lobby was the worst idea they could have had. Roaring loudly, a colossal plant monster reveals itself to punish those who dared to break the rules of peace. Crushing the fools, the vines grab people like toys, demonstrating the force of nature. Spilling blood, the bodies fall lifelessly, proving that security there is strictly enforced. His eyes shining, Yamada sees the power difference and feels a deep admiration growing in his chest. Clenching his fist, He decides he will no longer be a victim and will become a true hunter. Reaching out a trembling hand, a dying man asks for help, feeling life quickly slipping away on the cold floor. Crouching beside him, the hero analyzes the fatal wound and sees that no potion can heal it. Begging for the end, the man asks for release, as the pain of having his body crushed is unbearable. Raising his knife, the MC accepts the burden of getting his hands dirty to end another's agony. Screaming in fear, the assistant tries to stop the blow, as he still hasn't gotten used to this cruelty. Finishing the job, the guy ignores the protest and receives a notification for his act of mercy. Observing the city, two elite agents discuss a mysterious mission that just appeared in the system. Questioning the details, the blonde finds it strange to be the only one summoned for a job of this level. Thrilled with the numbers, he notices his stream hit 1 million views, surpassing all expectations. Comparing the rankings, the guy realizes he's left his biggest rival behind and smiles victoriously. Sipping a drink, his muscular partner comments that luck seems to be on their side today. Saying goodbye to the audience, our hero ends the broadcast with a confident wave to the invisible camera. Walking distractedly, he opens the donation menu, curious to see how much he earned from the slaughter. Flashing on the screen, the amount of 400,000 points shines, making his heart race in surprise. Doubting his eyes, the guy is shocked, as he never imagined getting rich so quickly in this world. Celebrating his fortune, he already imagines the legendary items he can buy with this mountain of cash. Tapping the button, he converts the points to cash, knowing he needs real resources now. Stomping heavily, hurried footsteps break the silence, indicating the moment of peace was short-lived. Hearing a sharp scream, he turns his head towards the park where a commotion seems to be brewing. Trembling with fear, a blue-haired girl backs away, cornered by a group of ill-intentioned men. Surrounding the girl, the aggressors laugh at the situation, thinking they've found an easy target to intimidate. With a calm smile, the hero interrupts the scene, asking if the uncles aren't ashamed of acting like this. Crying in fear, the girl begs for help, knowing those men have no good intentions. Pointing a finger, the gang leader demands the guy get lost before he decides to rough him up. Shouting into the phone, the thug calls for backup, realizing this meddler is going to be trouble. Hanging up, he informs the MC that the entire gang is on its way to finish him off. Surrounding the hero, the group positions themselves, thinking their numerical advantage guarantees an easy win. Drawing his weapon, our guy pulls out his staff in a fluid motion, ready to teach them a lesson. Mocking the threat, the boss laughs in his face, completely underestimating the danger he's in. Slicing through the air, the staff comes down too fast, hitting the aggressor's arm with absurd violence. Screaming in pain, the man retreats, clutching his injured limb while panic overtakes the rest of the group. Howls of hatred escape the villain, who can't accept being humiliated in front of his useless cronies. Striking without mercy, the MC hits the enemy's stomach with a precise and brutal thrust. Threatening the hostage, the leader puts the blade to her neck, ordering the hero to drop his weapon now. Holding the girl, he uses her as a human shield, proving he has no honor in this fight. Watching the scene, the guy freezes his movement, calmly assessing the risk to avoid a tragedy. Aiming with cold precision, he calculates the perfect angle to neutralize the threat without endangering the hostage. Throwing the weapon, the knife hilt flies, spinning in the air at a speed impossible to follow with the naked eye. Hitting the mark, the impact on the forehead knocks the thug out instantly, releasing the girl completely unharmed. Approaching calmly, our hero checks the unconscious villain and comments that the blow went better than planned. Shedding tears, the girl looks at her savior with deep gratitude, still trembling from the scare. Trying to leave, he's interrupted by a shout of freeze, coming from behind him with authority. Pointing his nightstick, a nervous police officer surrounds the guy, confusing the hero with the local aggressors. Raising his arms, he surrenders calmly, knowing it'll be easier to explain the situation at the station. Sitting in the interrogation room, the atmosphere is tense as the detective tries to understand how a civilian did all that. Slamming the table, the officer shouts indignantly, pointing to the report describing the violence of the confrontation. Questioning the logic, he asks how a skinny teenager took down 5 dangerous criminals by himself. Staring silently, our MC maintains a serene posture, making the lawman even more irritated. Losing his cool, the officer threatens to arrest the guy for excessive force if he keeps his mouth shut. Activating his ID, his wrist glows, revealing his hunter's license, which changes all the rules of the game. Relaxing in his chair, he watches the officer's dumbfounded face, who now realizes he's messed with the wrong person. Holding the purple crystal, our MC shows how the item glows to reveal the truth. Explaining the rule, he warns that if anyone lies, the thing will turn red instantly. Skeptical, the guy watches, trying to figure out if it's some cheap trick or the real deal. Pulsing strongly, the energy confirms that the device really works, making the atmosphere tense. Questioning the hero, the white-haired guy asks how he controls everything and knows so much. Asking seriously, he wants to understand if the MC already knew what was going to happen there. With a slight smirk, our guy replies that he's in the know because he knows the real prophet. Showing the post, he displays the profile of some nutjob online who claimed to be a psychic. Holding his phone, the hero proves he just found the info lying around on the internet beforehand. Shocked by this, the other guy's eyes widen, seeing that the source was public and obvious. Staring up close, the white-haired guy tries to intimidate him, but our MC doesn't even blink. Changing scenes, we see the stadium where the monsters are predicted to appear. Explaining everything, the guy points out that the rift will open there, following a logical pattern. Appearing out of nowhere, the purple portal confirms the theory, proving he was right again. Taking notes quickly, the assistant records the data, shocked by the guy's absurd precision. Illuminating the room, the crystal reacts to the command and releases a pulsing magical energy. Eyes widening, the boy can hardly believe it when he sees the location being revealed. Putting the pieces together, the system processes each fragment of information to assemble the map. Analyzing the screen, the white-haired guy confirms that the tracking was a complete success. Displaying the data, the monitor proves they finally found what they were looking for. Vibrating with joy, he holds the report, feeling like they hit the jackpot today. With a confident smile, the young man guarantees that with this, they have total control of the situation. Freezing in shock, the girl feels her heart almost leap out of her chest upon seeing the duo. Puzzled by her reaction, our hero and his friend watch the girl act like a maniac. Falling to her knees, she seems to have lost all strength in her legs from nervousness. Watching the scene, the MC tries to understand the reason for her intense panic. Standing up, he and his partner wait for her to recover from the initial shock. Handing over a card, our guy extends his hand to formalize contact with her. Blushing furiously, the girl gets embarrassed and tries to hide her face in shame. Speaking seriously, the hero explains that he needs her help for the next step. Trying to calm the situation, the MC says there's no reason for so much panic. Remembering the past, she feels a chill down her spine, afraid of being abandoned again. Floating in a dark memory, we see the poor girl has been through some rough times before. Back in reality, the two exchange ideas about what to do next. Extending his hand, our guy asks for a leap of faith to solidify their partnership. Accepting the proposal, she decides to cooperate, even though she's mortified around him. Activating her power, the girl concentrates a green light in her hands, showing a healing ability. Observing this, the hero is impressed by the purity of her magic. Displaying the stats, the system screen confirms that it's a rare skill. Realizing her value, the MC figures out he struck a gold mine. Discussing the details, the chibi versions agree on how they'll use this to their advantage. Explaining her condition, she warns that she still gets tired quickly if she uses too much power. Gently patting her head, the guy puts his hand on her head to give her a confidence boost. Blushing furiously, the girl almost faints from the sudden affectionate gesture. Registering the progress, the system announces that her loyalty has increased significantly. Staring at the door, he feels the weight of returning home after 7 long years. Hesitating at the entrance, our guy wonders if his parents are really inside. Recalling the trauma, he remembers how he lost his family to a cruel killer. Remembering his powerlessness, he feels angry for having failed even with his powers back then. With a determined smile, the hero promises that this time, destiny will be different. Turning the doorknob, he takes a deep breath to face whatever is on the other side. Entering cheerfully, the girl shouts, announcing to her mom that she's finally home. Hearing noise from the kitchen, we see someone peacefully preparing dinner. Hugging her mom from behind, the girl makes up for lost time with a gesture full of affection. Laughing at the situation, the woman tells her to be careful with the knife, but accepts her daughter's affection. Clinging to her, the little one enjoys the moment to be spoiled like a child. Pointing behind her, she happily announces that she brought her big bro along this time. Stopping everything, the mother's hand freezes upon hearing such unexpected news. Turning around curiously, the father appears in glasses, wanting to see who has arrived. With an awkward smile, our MC tries to hold back his emotions at seeing his old man doing well. Smiling gently, the father welcomes his son with a warm greeting that soothes the heart. Holding back tears, he emotionally replies that he's finally back where he belongs. Asking casually, the old man wants to know if the boy has already had dinner or if he's hungry. Inviting him to the table, he calls his son to eat with them, just like old times. Patting his back, the mom complains that the boy is too skinny and needs to eat. Grumbling in pain, He tries to argue that he's at a healthy weight, but she doesn't listen. Serving dinner, she shows him his favorite dish with that special cheese omelette. Remembering the past, he recalls the pain of not being able to protect this family before. Eating emotionally, the hero feels like crying over something as simple as dinner. Striking up a conversation, the father asks if he's been taking care of himself and if everything's okay. Replying softly, the guy assures them that everything's fine so as not to worry anyone. Relieved by this, the old man agrees, and the mood at the table becomes lighter and more familiar. Ratting out her husband, the mom laughingly tells how the tough guy used to cry looking at photos of his missing son. Choking in surprise, he looks at his dad, unable to believe the old man is such a softie. With a discreet smile, the MC is happy to know that they missed him too. Placing the money on the table, he apologizes for worrying the family all this time. Smiling proudly, the young man announces he's found a steady job to help out at home. Reflecting in his room, he can't believe his dad refused the money so casually. Recalling the gesture, the old man insisted that his son keep the cash to take care of himself. Knocking on the door, the sister announces she's coming into the room, barging in uninvited. Finding her politeness strange, the guy comments that her knocking before entering is a rarity. Questioning the story, the girl doubts that a normal job pays that much. Pressing her brother, she wants details, and he makes up a story about becoming a famous streamer. Doing the math, she thinks it's chump change if that's the total profit from being gone for 7 years. Correcting her mistake, our hero explains that amount came from just 1 day of work. Her mind blown, the girl stares at him, unable to process this absurd information. Being dramatic, she thinks it's a joke and says she's fine with him being broke. Keeping his cool, the MC says that's the truth, whether she believes it or not. Screaming in shock, the girl finally understands that her brother is rolling in money. Asking quietly, she wants to know if he enjoys the work, but the guy just plays it cool. Thinking out loud, she compares her brother to a movie superhero or one of those soap opera protagonists. Doubting the story, the girl questions if he's serious about being that amazing. With a wink, our hero says it's a state secret and asks her to keep it under wraps. Clasping her hands, she thanks the heavens for her luck and leaves the room with a little smile. Hiding her joy, the girl tries not to seem too greedy, but is loving the news. Watching her leave, the MC notices how much his sister has changed during his years away. Turning her blushing face, she quietly confesses that she's really happy he's back home. Closing the door, the little one leans against the wall, mortified for being so sentimental. Shouting from the hallway, the clever girl announces that since he's rich now, he's paying for dinner tonight. Sighing deeply, our guy realizes the piece is over but smiles, feeling like he's finally home. Walking down the street, the sister complains that he's drawing too much attention with his scruffy look. Hearing a call, the two stop on the sidewalk when someone shouts their last name from a distance. Waving enthusiastically, a guy in a green hoodie runs towards the pair, looking very excited. Greeting the hero, the stranger acts familiar, as if they were old friends. Shaking his hand, the young man thanks him for his help the other day, sealing a new friendship. Narrating the disaster, the system announces that monsters have appeared out of nowhere, terrorizing the city. Attacking mercilessly, a giant monkey destroys everything in its path with pure violence and brute force. Knocking out a civilian, the beast roars victoriously as people run for their lives. Watching the scene, the trio stops in shock, trying to understand what's happening in the middle of the street. Lying on the ground, the man begs for help, but no one is brave enough to face the beast to save him. Encouraging his friend, our hero tells him it's his time to shine and show him what he's got. Unleashing his power, the guy in green makes thick roots sprout from the ground with a loud rumble. Forming a barrier, the plants protect the group, creating an impenetrable natural shield. Explaining the magic, he says he controls wood and can create defenses quickly if needed. Analyzing the technique, the MC is impressed with its utility in combat. Joining the fray, our guy steps up so his friend doesn't have to risk it alone. Getting its attention, he faces the monster head on, completely unafraid of its size. Roaring with hatred, the monkey leaps at him, wanting to crush his head in a single blow. Blocking the punch, a blue light appears and stops the brutal attack with impressive ease. Identifying the target, the system marks the enemy, and the hero prepares for a fatal counterattack. Thinking fast, our MC decides to take a different approach and avoids violence at first. Snapping his fingers, he pulls an item from his inventory to try and resolve this peacefully. Appearing from nowhere, a bunch of bananas materializes in his hand, glowing magically. Offering the fruit, the hero bets on the monkey's gluttony to calm the beast without a fight. Hesitating a bit, the creature suspiciously takes the banana, but can't resist the sweet smell. Tasting it, The monster is enchanted by the deliciousness and completely changes its attitude. Celebrating the peace, other monkeys appear, wanting some too, and become fans of the guy. Filming everything, the camera records this bizarre moment of friendship between a human and beasts. With views skyrocketing, the stream's counter explodes with so many people watching the madness. Watching the screen, a guy in glasses can't believe the sudden success of this new channel. Questioning the content, he wonders what kind of maniac tames monsters with fruit. Crossing his arms, the man is intrigued by the potential of this mysterious streamer. Reading the comments, he sees that the crowd is loving it and asking for more of this crazy content. His glasses glinting, the man spots a golden opportunity emerging right in front of him. Holding his phone, he decides he needs to find out who this masked person is and fast. Eyes widening, the man is shocked by the absurd skill he's seeing on the broadcast. Reading the data, the screen shows that engagement is rising at an unnatural rate. Questioning the logic, he wonders if a human could even move like that. Doubting everything, the man considers that it might be a bot plane to be so perfect. Attacking with fury, the monkey throws a powerful straight punch, trying to end the fight. Blocking it cold, a blue barrier appears at the last second, stopping the brute force blow. Stumbling back in shock, the viewer almost falls over seeing that impenetrable defense. Staring at his phone, he's completely focused, trying to understand this player's secret. Moving quickly, the monster gives no quarter and keeps the pressure on the hero. Dodging easily, our MC makes the beast look slow with his sharp reflexes. Scratching his chin, the man concludes that this level of control is anything but common. Materializing the ring, the system creates a virtual arena to make things fairer. Putting on gloves, the monkey gets into the boxing spirit, ready for round 2. Glowing in the dark, the creature's eyes show that things are about to get serious. With a calm smile, our guy finds the situation amusing and prepares for the real fight. Recalling his past life, the hero smiles nostalgically, amused by this whole situation. As the bell rings, the gong announces that the slugfest is about to begin for real. Setting his stance, the monkey gets into position, focused and waiting for the right moment to act. Disappointed with the level, our MC finds it all pretty lame and was hoping for more excitement. Seeing the openings, he notices the beast attacks wide open, making his job easier. Trying to land a hit, the monster throws its arms around wildly, with no technique whatsoever. Blocking the blows, the guy realizes his rival's physical strength is quite disappointing. Dodging playfully, he messes with the beast, which can't seem to land a single hit. Staring at his boredom, the hero admits this is way too easy to be a real challenge. Countering firmly, he decides to punish his opponent for being so weak and slow. Smashing its face, the punch lands clean, making a sharp, violent impact sound. Eyes widening, the monkey gets dizzy, feeling the world spin after that hit. Saved by the bell, the round ends before the poor thing can kiss the canvas. Thinking about strategy, the MC decides to play along and respect the rules of boxing. Starting the second round, he notices the monkey's footwork is all stiff. Dodging with ease, our hero evades the slow punches the monkey throws in desperation. Landing across, he connects a precise blow that makes the beast feel the pressure. Watching closely, he notices the enemy's guard is wide open and all wrong. Trying to fight back, the beast unleashes a furious combo but only hits empty air. Taunting his rival, he makes a fool of his opponent, dodging everything with his hands down. Lighting up the arena, a perfect counter attack explodes, sending the creature flying. Staggering dizzily, the monster tries to stay on its feet, but its legs have already given up. Seeing its condition, the MC realizes the fight is already won without much effort. Declaring the winner, the system announces a technical knockout, ending the massacre. Celebrating the victory, he raises his hand as the virtual crowd goes wild. Receiving the prizes, the screen glows, announcing that he's moved up in rank with this beatdown. Reading the notices, the guy discovers he's broken the time record in this category. Dancing happily, the chibi version celebrates the extra points that will level up his skills. Increasing his stats, the system confirms that his agility and strength have leveled up. Checking his earnings, he sees people donating cash and asking for more insane fights like this. Receiving the alert, the system announces that the main mission has been successfully completed. Eyes widening, he sees an extra task offering 1 million diamonds as a reward. Pressing the button, he accepts the challenge on the spot, drawn by the absurd reward. Confirming the choice, the screen flashes, registering that there's no turning back for him now. Freezing in shock, he realizes he might have been too greedy in accepting this. Breaking into a cold sweat, the guy remembers that these optional missions are usually deadly traps. Praising the duo, he congratulates his friend for protecting his sister while he was fighting. Blushing with embarrassment, the two become shy from the boss's sudden recognition. Extending his arm, He offers the championship belt he just won in the ring. Making a face, the sister refuses to hold that sweaty, monkey-smelling thing. Insisting on the offer, he says it's a rare item, but she still finds it all bizarre. Changing his tone, he looks seriously at his green-clad friend, acknowledging the young man's worth. Handing over the prize, the hero states that the team's true tank deserves to have it. Crying with joy, the boy clutches the belt, promising to honor his idol's trust. Making his exit, our MC waves, leaving his partner beaming with his new treasure. Negotiating quickly, he offers a hefty sum to convince his sister to wear the tacky belt. Accepting the offer, the girl poses happily, thinking she actually looks stylish with the item. Surveying the area, they notice the area is clear, and the monsters have already been defeated. Warning the civilian, our hero tells the guy to get out of there before the danger returns. Complaining on the side, the green-clad friend wants to know why he doesn't get cool stuff like that too. Ignoring the drama, the MC focuses on the mission, paying no mind to his partner's whining. Growling lowly, a lone monkey faces the group but doesn't have the courage to attack. Analyzing the mobs, the guy realizes those creatures are too weak to be any trouble. Walking calmly, the sister notices the monsters make way, afraid of their aura. Trembling with fear, the tank realizes he's only alive thanks to the leader's protection. Shining on the shelf, something green catches their eye among the fruit at the market. Grabbing the loot, the girl finds rare scrolls that teach skills instantly. Tearing the paper, she releases the magic contained within to absorb the mystical knowledge. Feeling the power, a green light envelopes her body, indicating the class has been learned. With a satisfied smile, our guy celebrates that the team now has a complete tank and healer. Eating happily, they enjoy a well-deserved feast after clearing the difficult dungeon. Sipping through a straw, the friend replenishes his energy. Shocked by the monstrous hunger he was feeling, relaxing in his chair, the hero watches his team chow down at a restaurant in the city. Devouring everything, the three seem famished, so happy with the delicious food. Praising the team, our MC says they did an amazing job on their first mission together. Speaking seriously, he warns that this was just the beginning and that bigger challenges are coming. Cutting his egg, the guy ignores the technical talk and focuses on what matters, filling his stomach. Appearing out of nowhere, a guy in sunglasses shows up, recognizing the famous streamer. Approaching the table, the stranger arrives with a lot of attitude, interrupting the group's dinner. Pointing his finger, he claims he scoured the entire city looking for the masked man from the internet. With a calm smile, the hero asks who this character is and what he wants in such a hurry. Showing his screen, the man displays the booming channel, proving he knows who he really is. Making his proposal, the guy wants to manage his career and make millions together. Extending his hand, he promises to turn our guy into the greatest living legend in this world. Staring at the gesture, the MC considers whether it's worth making a deal with this nutjob. Insisting on the offer, the agent guarantees he can turn his career into a global success. Ignoring the talk, our hero turns his back and walks away, not giving a single thought to the proposal. Trying to stop him, the man runs after him, yelling for him to wait and hear the rest of the plan. Sensing the movement, the guy reacts instinctively when he feels the man's hand getting close. Grabbing his wrist, he intercepts the touch before the guy can even lay a finger on him. Spinning his body, the MC uses his rival's momentum to throw him off balance. Tossing him easily, he applies a perfect throw, sending the guy onto his back on the cold floor. Hitting the ground hard, the agent is left sprawled on the floor while everyone in the restaurant stares in shock. Shocked by the technique, he realizes this kid has absurd strength for his age. Flashing in his mind, a memory reveals this agent was once a renowned boxing champion. Posing victoriously, old photos show the peak of his career before he became a manager. Extending a hand, our guy offers to help the fallen man up in a noble gesture of respect. Smiling gently, he says he recognized the ex-athlete's combat stance immediately. Looking surprised, the man can't believe he's still remembered for his glory days in the ring. Making peace, the MC helps him to his feet, and the tense atmosphere dissolves. Activating his scanner, the agent tries to measure the guy's power, but the device nearly fries. Revealing his aura, the system shows a golden energy that breaks all logical limits. Staring at the glow, the man is amazed by so much spiritual force concentrated there. With a satisfied smile, he realizes he's found a genius capable of changing the entire world. Deciding right then and there, the man vows to make this kid the greatest hunter in history. Weirded out by the talk, the MC finds the guy a bit intense and tries to slip away. Changing the scene, we see two powerful girls who seem to recognize our hero. Commenting on the video, the redhead says his moves in the fight were professional level. Observing seriously, she notes that the guy's combat style isn't that of a common amateur. Looking suspiciously, The woman doesn't believe a newbie could have so much natural talent. Approaching the hero, she walks up with a ton of attitude, wanting to get this story straight. Staring at his face, the girl tries to intimidate him but ends up speechless. Clueless about the conversation, the guy asks who they are with a completely blank expression. Explaining the situation, her friend says they came to recruit him for their guild. Exploding with anger, the redhead freaks out because he has no idea who she, a famous person, is. Apologizing, the MC admits he's never seen the woman in his life, leaving her irritated. Fuming with rage, the redhead glares at the kid, unable to believe the audacity of being ignored. Revealing her face, she pulls off her hood, expecting to be recognized as the celebrity she is. Crossing their arms, the atmosphere becomes tense between the group in the middle of the busy sidewalk. Demanding an answer, the girl pressures the guy to join her guild right now. With a slight smirk, our hero sees a golden opportunity to get stronger fast. Flashing on the screen, the system announces that a special mission was generated by this invitation. Laughing to himself, the agent watches everything from a distance, already calculating the profit from this union. Adjusting his glasses, the manager realizes the team is forming perfectly. Showing the video, he proves to his contact that the guy is the rare talent they were looking for. Targeting the blonde, the redhead asks if that scaredy cat kid is also part of the team. Trembling with joy, the friend nearly faints just from being noticed by the girl of his dreams. Stuttering badly, he points to his own chest, unable to believe his good luck. Watching the scene, the hero holds back a laugh, seeing his partner turn into a puddle of love. Yelling impatiently, the woman demands the green-clad guy snap out of it and answer already. Mumbling shyly, the friend says it would be an honor to be a punching bag on her team. Smiling, our MC accepts the invitation, warning that the team comes as a full package or not at all. Entering the dungeon, the group walks tensely, observing the ancient walls of the place. Admiring the art, the hero notices a giant painting depicting warriors of the past. Commenting on the work, he says those guys look way tougher than today's heroes. Agreeing with him, the friend feels a shiver just looking at those painted eyes. Stopping at the door, the blonde nervously warns that there's an absurd pressure coming from inside. Stepping firmly, the MC ignores the fear and moves forward, knowing there's no turning back. Touching the doorknob, he feels the wood vibrate as if the door were alive. Reading the warning, the system informs that a key item is needed to open the passage. Pulling it from his pocket, the hero shows the championship belt he won in the previous fight. Fitting the object in, the door reacts, glowing brightly and unlocking the sealed path. Opening slowly, the entrance reveals a blinding light that swallows everyone nearby. Narrating the entrance, the system welcomes them to the secret floor of the mysterious tower. Observing the scene, the MC sees giant chains holding something in the center of the room. Identifying the painting, the hero recognizes the monster from the image as the boss of this floor. Growling in the shadows, the real beast appears with a deadly red aura. Explaining the tactic, the MC shows on a holographic screen how to beat the big guy. Confident in the plan, he says the tank needs to hold the line while he attacks. Trembling in terror, the green-clad friend says he's not ready to check out today. Screaming in fear, he completely panics seeing the size of the enemy in front of him. Cheering on his buddy, our hero gives him a hard slap on the back to snap him out of it. Announcing the battle, the system warns that the challenge of the second floor has begun for real. Getting into a defensive stance, the giant monkey prepares to crush the invaders. Grabbing his friend, the MC shoves the kid forward, telling him to start tanking already. Activating his magic, the guy summons sharp leaves that spin around him like a shield. Flying at the target, the blades slice through the air at absurd speed, aiming for the monster. Blocking the shots, the beast crosses its armored arms, laughing at the weak attack. Roaring loudly, the creature charges forward, ignoring the superficial damage to its thick skin. Watching intently, our guy analyzes its movements, looking for the ideal weak spot. Screaming in panic, the blonde uses all his magical strength to try and stop the brutal advance. Cutting through the wind, the monkey unleashes a sonic blow that rips through the air towards them. Guiding the team, the hero tells his friend to calm down and focus on defense now. Aiming at the redhead, he gives the order for her to prepare a surprise attack from the flanks. Activating stealth mode, the girl disappears into the shadows, ready to deliver the fatal blow. Leaping nimbly, she appears behind the monster, taking advantage of the distraction created by the tank. Spinning in the air, the twins attack in sync, creating a tornado of slicing blades. Pulling the team back, our MC warns that the boss's second phase is about to begin. Trusting him, the sister agrees seriously, knowing she can't mess up at this crucial moment. Shattering the floor, the beast lands a seismic punch that makes the entire arena shake violently. Sent flying, the green-clad friend is thrown against the wall by the impact of the shockwave. Shouting his name, the healer runs to help before it's too late. Raising roots, the guy creates a barrier of thorns to buy the group some time. Watching from above, the hero sees that the team is holding up well against the fight's absurd pressure. Ending the stream, he tells his followers he's going to focus on the combat, and will be back later with the results. Shaking with tension, the guy admits he's never been a fan of dangerous games like this before. Breaking into a cold sweat, however, he realizes that this is for real. Preparing for the fight, the buff monkey warns that it will aim for vital points. Keeping his cool, our white-clad MC just observes what the beast is doing. Analyzing the knife, he notes, however, that the blade doesn't seem to be anything special. Moving quickly, the guy backs up while the redhead charges forward without any fear. Leaping into the air, she delivers a powerful kick, trying to get the monster good. Smirking, our hero enjoys watching his companion's boldness in combat. Firing off a punch, the beast reacts quickly, launching a slicing gust of wind. Feeling the fist connect, the monkey's face deforms with the force of the brutal impact. Blocking right after, he uses his arm to stop the rest of the deadly combo. Realizing its mistake, the monster notices it has become a giant target for the next attack. Its eyes glowing, the creature faces the danger, ready to retaliate with everything it's got. Descending from the sky, our guy appears at high speed, dropping right into the action. Shouting, the redhead understands she needs to change the direction of her attack right now. Shooting sparks, the clash of blows illuminates everything around them. Roaring loudly, however, the beast tries to fight back using brute force. Dodging nimbly, our hero then slips under its open guard. Holding on tight, he takes the opportunity and aims straight for the weak spot. Hitting its mark, the blade tears through the flesh of the beast's chest. Retreating injured, the monster thus feels the end of the battle approaching. Seeing that, the girl is shocked by her partner's skill. Walking up to him, she then questions if he's really just a streamer. Insisting on her doubt, the redhead wants to know where all that power came from. Questioning nonstop, she, however, makes the atmosphere a bit tense. Scratching the back of his neck, our MC dodges the question with an awkward smile. Lying on the floor, the giant's body finally confirms their victory. Flashing on the screen, the system announces that the reward has been released. Smiling happily, he realizes the effort was well worth it. Checking his arm, a new mark appears, therefore sealing the achievement. Visualizing the screen, the system informs that a rare skill has been unlocked. Smiling with satisfaction, furthermore, our MC sees his proficiency increase. Ignoring the alert, he focuses only on the benefits he just gained. Walking calmly, the guy then returns to the group with a victorious air. Clicking on the menu, he quickly finishes collecting the mission rewards. Looking curiously, the redhead comments that she's never seen anyone play like that before. Asking bluntly, she then questions how they are going to split all the profit. Imagining the cash, the girl gets dollar signs in her eyes just thinking about the wealth. Celebrating internally, she says the hunt yielded much more than she expected. Changing the subject, the girl breaks the business, like mood with a shy attitude. Clasping her hands, she suddenly seems nervous around our hero. Blushing deeply, the young woman asks for his contact info to set up another match. Accepting the request, he thus gives his ID to his new colleague. Laughing with relief, she says she'll call as soon as she gets a chance. Observing the scene, our guy concludes he's found a very enthusiastic partner. Looking around the city, the group decides to find something good to eat in the area. Shrugging, the girl replies, however, that anything is fine with her. Getting annoyed, our MC demands a more concrete answer from his friend. Puffing out her chest, she guarantees she can handle whatever comes her way. Sitting at the table, he comments, surprised, how they made easy money today. Seizing the topic, the girl wants to know how much he profited from this little adventure. Hiding the truth, the guy says it was about the same as them. Thinking quickly, he then decides not to reveal that he earned much more. Her eyes shining, the young woman changes focus as soon as dessert arrives. Trying the sweet, she insists her friend also try the wonderful treat. Overhearing conversations, our hero, however, hears rumors about player crimes. Ignoring the tension, he tries the pudding and admits it's really good. Kicking down the door, 5 shady-looking guys burst in, causing a ruckus. Coolly analyzing, the MC sizes up the strength of each invader. Looking around, the gang leader seems to be searching for someone specific. Tugging on his pants, the little boy begs his brother to hide under the table. Maintaining his composure, our MC says those guys are just small-time thugs. Trembling with fear, the boy insists, however, that it's better not to push their luck. Drinking calmly, our hero explains that real villains rob banks, not diners. Getting closer, the gang leader notices the audacity of the only customer still sitting. Glaring, the thug asks if the guy is deaf or just messing with him. Eating his pudding, the MC ignores the threat, finding it all a huge drag. Yelling loudly, the punk tells him to put his hands on his head and get on the floor. Savoring the sweet, our guy compliments the dessert, completely ignoring the danger. Losing his patience, the guy grinds his teeth, asking if he wants to get taken out. Swinging the bat, the criminal attacks with full force, trying to hit his head. Dodging easily, the hero evades the blow without even dropping the pudding from his spoon. Offering money, he then suggests they take the cash and get lost. Foaming with rage, the villain curses the guy and prepares another deadly attack. Smirking, the MC announces that now he can fight back, since he was attacked first. Grabbing the leader's face, our hero makes it clear that playtime is over. Stuttering in panic, the guy realizes too late the mistake he's made. Shouting to the others, his accomplices are ordered to take the guy out at once. Striking quickly, our MC effortlessly drops the first punk. Cursing loudly, the man in the beanie charges, vowing to end it all. Rushing with the pipe, he tries to land a fatal blow filled with hatred. Smashing the table, the attack misses its target and crushes the poor, innocent pudding. Dodging underneath, the guy avoids the danger while complaining about the mess. Kicking the knee, he takes down the aggressor, making the big guy howl in pain. Smiling, he then says he'll let them live if they disappear now. Appearing from nowhere, a young man in a jacket interrupts the chaos, holding one of them. Asking seriously, the newcomer questions what the thugs think they're doing. Squeezing his shoulder, he comments that robbing this place shows a real lack of intelligence. Displaying his level, the system warns that this new character is not weak. Explaining the situation, he says that attacking civilians like this is asking for an early exit. Mumbling an apology, the dark-haired guy seems to be acting under duress. Yelling from behind, the gang leader orders him to finish our hero off. Sweating nervously, the young man hesitates, but the pressure from the criminals is too great. Exploding with aura, he charges forward, apologizing for the imminent attack. Blocking the punch, the MC feels the weight of the blow shake his bones. Feeling the pressure, he admits that his opponent's level is indeed quite high. Dodging the flames, he realizes, however, that his rival is on the defensive. With a confident smile, our guy then announces that he's going to fight seriously too. Finding an opening, he lands a straight punch to his adversary's stomach. Sent flying, the dark-haired guy feels the brutal impact rattle his entire body. Spinning a pipe, the hero presses forward, maintaining the advantage in combat. Parrying the blow, the enemy desperately tries to defend against the assault. Grabbing him from behind, the MC locks his movements in the blink of an eye. Tightening the hold, he thinks that this fight is actually pretty fun. Looking at his face, our hero notes, however, that the guy has reached his limit. Holding the knife to the blonde's neck, he asks with a smile if the guy has learned his lesson. Stuttering in fear, the man realizes he messed with the wrong person and curses under his breath. Seeing this, the gang leader yells at his other henchmen to finish the meddler off. And so, our MC uses the attacker's own weapon against him in a rather nasty way. Because of this, the man in the beanie gets furious and shouts that he's going to wipe him out. Spinning his staff with force, he prepares a blow with a blue aura to crush the hero. However, the attack misses and only hits the poor pudding lying on the dirty floor. Dodging easily, our guy complains about the noise and prepares his own counterattack. With that, a quick blow hits the thug's leg, who screams in pain from the impact. Right after, he says he'll let them go because he's in a good mood today. Turning to the young man in the jacket, he asks what he's still doing standing there. Staring up close, our hero questions why he's with those people. Faced with the situation, the dark-haired guy gets all awkward, not knowing what to say. At that moment, a screen reveals that the guy is a low-level noble in need of cash. From there, the MC asks why he sold himself out to such weak thugs. Apologizing, the young man explains that he's cornered and has no other choice. With that, the gang leader yells, telling him to do the job or pay a fine 10 times larger. Pressured by the threat, the young man grinds his teeth, feeling like he has nowhere else to run, and so he apologizes once more and unleashes a full force fire aura. His explosive punch hits a blue barrier that our hero creates effortlessly. Our MC thinks that his rival's combo is dangerous, but at his current level, it barely tickles. He admits that without his attack, nullifying skill, the story would be very different right now. Smirking, the hero announces that since it's come to this, he won't go easy anymore either. Seeing his opponent's guard wide open, he finds the perfect opening to counterattack. A series of quick blows hits the dark-haired guy who can't defend in time. Leaping over him, our guy prepares to deliver the final blow and end the fight. With a swift movement, he hits his rival's shoulder, immobilizing his arm. Right after, the MC applies a tight rear naked choke to end the scuffle. He thinks that his adversary is strong, and that the fight was actually pretty fun in the end. But our MC quickly changes his mind when he realizes the guy has already hit his limit. Noticing the enemy's guard is completely open, our MC readies his knife for the attack. Lunging forward in the blink of an eye, he lands a precise blow right to his opponent's face. Because of this, the dark-haired guy hits the floor, feeling an absurd amount of pain and understanding nothing. With his rival defeated, our hero turns to the blonde from the gang and asks if he has any money. Trembling with fear, the guy answers yes on the spot, without a second thought. So, our MC holds out his hand and tells the guy to hand over the cash, and fast. The blonde hands over his wallet, and the hero confirms if that's everything before telling him to scram. Right after, the three thugs bow in thanks and ask for permission to leave. However, the MC gets their attention one more time, terrifying the blonde guy. With an angry face, he demands 3 puddings, since their fight ruined his dessert. After solving the problem, he turns to the fallen guy and says they need to talk. He then calls Mayu and asks her to heal the dark-haired guy so he can recover quickly. At that, a healing light envelops the guy and his eyes slowly open. In a few seconds, the injury completely disappears, leaving the dark-haired guy shocked by the power. Sitting next to him, our hero calls him Big Guy to start the chat he wanted. The healed guy asks if our MC let himself get it on purpose, since he could have dodged. Our MC replies that he's as annoying as ever and calls him a justice freak. From there, he says he can already imagine what happened, and a suspicious job it appears. He then deduces that the dark-haired guy fell for a scam because of a shady ad like that. And because of his personality, after signing the contract, he couldn't get out of the mess. The dark-haired guy refuses to say why he needs money, and our hero says he can't help then. Seeing the awkward silence, our MC asks the guy to wait there a moment. With that, he grabs a piece of paper and a pen and starts writing down his phone number. Right after, he hands the contact info to the guy with a very serious expression. Our MC says that if he wants to earn money the right way, he just needs to get in touch. The guy asks why he's helping, and the hero replies that the partnership would make for good content. Changing scenes, the chibi duo argues over who gets to eat the pudding the thugs paid for. With a smile on his face, our MC comments that food tastes better when it's free. Days later, in his room, he thinks that the guy should have sent a message by now. His little version starts to worry, thinking the other guy fell for another scam again. Vibrating on the table, his phone receives a message from Yuri Akamine, who has finally made contact. With a smile on his face, our MC celebrates, because he knew the guy would accept the partnership offer. He then remembers how awkward the dark-haired guy got, saying it would be an honor to work with him. From there, our hero shakes him and tells the guy to speak more clearly if he really wants the job. And so, he decides to transfer 2 million yen as an advance to Yuri's account. The guy thanks him awkwardly and swears he'll never forget this debt of gratitude. Our MC says he'll pay a good fee and that they can try a few times to see if it works out. Faced with the situation, Yuri asks why he's doing so much, and the hero thinks he's gotten a cheap talent. With a confident smile, he just asks his new partner to work hard to be worth the money. Changing scenes, our MC gathers the new team to give the final instructions before the mission. He explains to the Kurokage sisters that they are ambush specialists and their power drops if they're exposed. One of them finds the analysis a bit too blunt, but our hero just replies that it's the absolute truth. He then suggests saying that if the ambush works, they cause massive damage, and the other one agrees. Right after, one of the sisters raises her hand and asks which dungeon they're heading to now. Our MC then reveals that their next destination is the Numabukuro Station dungeon. Sick with nerves, the newbie almost hurls before it's even time. Supporting his colleague, our hero says it's normal for the first time. Teaching him the trick, he explains how they'll get the stage's secret achievement. Turning the doorknob, his little sister enters the room, interrupting his rest. Sitting on the bed, she asks, worried, how long he's going to keep risking himself like this. Arguing against it, the girl suggests he leave the danger to the other hunters. Her expression changing, she glares at her brother with a scary look. Leaning back in his chair, the MC assures her he just wants a peaceful future. Getting very close, the young woman demands to know the real reason for all this effort. Her cheeks blushing, she asks quietly if he's seeing someone. Lost, the guy doesn't understand where she got such a crazy idea. Daydreaming, the girl wants to know if her future sister-in-law is some top celebrity. Tapping her feet, she waits for the gossip with high anxiety. Shaking his head, he says he doesn't have time for a girlfriend right now. Skeptical of his answer, she remembers, however, that he disappears every single night. Touching her shoulder, our hero calms his sister down, promising everything will be alright. Her eyes widening, the girl is surprised to see a system window appear out of nowhere, explaining the plan. He says he's going to invest in her to ensure the family's safety. Reading the screen, the young woman then realizes her brother bought rare defensive equipment. Recognizing the item, she notes it's to tanker gear, the class that protects the group. Imagining the danger, the girl fears he's risking himself in difficult dungeons. Crossing his arms, the MC confidently assures her that he has total control of the situation. Pointing her finger, she suspiciously questions where the money for this is coming from. Averting his gaze, the guy tries to come up with a quick excuse to not get tangled up. Raising his hands, he confesses, laughing, that he became a streamer and is earning good money. Making a face, the sister doubts the story, thinking he's making fun of her. Pouting in the corner, she says she'll be keeping an eye on him to see if it's true. Getting serious, our hero thinks, however, that his popularity is growing fast. Watching a screen, a man in dark sunglasses watches the stream with great interest. Holding his phone, the stranger murmurs that the fun is just beginning. Appearing imposingly, the mechanical golem blocks the path with no chance of escape. Gritting his teeth, the dark-haired guy says, tensely, that he'll try to hold it off. Its visor glowing, the machine then activates its extermination protocols. Lying on the ground, the defeated allies unfortunately show the real danger. Facing the giant, the duo realizes that winning through brute force is impossible. Clenching its metal fist, the monster prepares a blow to crush them both. Trembling with fear, the partner asks desperately what the next step is. Maintaining his cool, the MC orders him to follow the plan without hesitation. Cutting away, the scene changes to someone watching everything on a screen. Reflected in his glasses, the monitor's glow reveals a mysterious observer. Holding his phone, he follows the stream, seeing that the end is near. Analyzing the video, the man in red comments that the kid has potential. Watching from behind, a blonde guy comes closer, curious to see the action too. Talking quietly, the pair discusses whether it's worth investing in our hero. Smirking, the newcomer seems to have really enjoyed the show. Adjusting his glasses, the man comments that the kid is very interesting. Taking a step, the MC finally enters the stage's boss area. Feeling a chill, he realizes the atmosphere in there is very heavy. Looking up, the guy faces the challenge with a smile on his face. Appearing from nowhere, an iron golem shows up, blocking the entire path. Flashing on the screen, the system shows the rare item he can win. Focusing on the prize, our hero decides he's taking this monster down now. Setting his stance, he stays alert for any sudden moves from the beast. Keeping his cool, the guy says this will be a piece of cake to handle. Looking ahead, he's surprised to see it's not just one enemy. Advancing together, the golems try to surround the invader from all sides. Trying to crush him, the machines bring their fists down on the ground with full force. Sliding quickly, our MC nimbly escapes the deadly trap. Charging his strike, his hand glows, ready for the counter-attack. Leaping into the air, the guy lunges forward, aiming right for the creature's head. With a sideways smile, our hero advances without fear to deliver the final blow. Piercing its chest, the dagger hits the red energy core dead on. Tearing through metal, the precise cut destroys the monster's power source. Shattering completely, the gem breaks, thus marking the end of the threat. Fixing his hair, the guy takes a deep breath, feeling mission accomplished. Falling to its knees, the giant golem loses its strength and collapses, defeated. Crumbling entirely, the iron body becomes just a pile of rubble. Climbing on top, the MC observes the destruction with an air of sovereignty. Sitting on the floor, his allies watch the scene, completely impressed. Approaching them, he offers a hand to help the tired crew up. Laughing at the situation, our hero jokes that the fight was just a warm-up. Gesticulating wildly, his little sister starts an interrogation about his strength, explaining the basics. He then tries to calm the curious girl's excitement. Watching from a distance, the other guy seems to be reflecting on the leader's power. Appearing from nowhere, a green glow announces that the battle's loot has appeared. Stopping in his tracks, the MC halts everything, sensing that something is wrong. Looking back, he tells his companion that now it's his turn to shine. Swallowing hard, the dark-haired guy accepts the task, trembling with nervousness. Moving on its own, the golem's arm tries to grab the invaders by surprise. Guiding the newbie, our hero reminds him that a tank must protect everyone. Hitting the ground, the thunderous blow kicks up dust and rocks everywhere. Dodging quickly, the group scatters, trying to escape the monster's reach. Turning his head, the guy realizes, stunned, that the creature is focusing only on him. Fleeing desperately, he yells, asking what he should do at that moment. Watching calmly, the leader decides not to intervene, to test his courage. Surrounding the weak, the enemies advance, ready for the imminent massacre. Realizing the risk, the tank notices that the little sister is in the line of fire. Leaping in front, he uses his own body as a human shield without hesitation. Roaring loudly, the guy unleashes his aura to maximize his defense. Blocking the charge, he holds against the impact, proving his worth in battle. Reading the notification, the system confirms the acquisition of the rare hidden piece. The ground shaking, the scenery begins to change, startling everyone there. With rocks falling, the ceiling collapses, opening access to the secret phase. Looking at the hole, our hero announces that the real game starts now. Alerting the group, he yells for them to be careful of the deadly fall. Feeling the mood get heavy, the stream's chat thinks the team won't make it. Watching it all, the audience comments on the massacre that's unfolding. Suffering in silence, the image shows how their demise affects their minds. Debating on TV, politicians argue whether this should be allowed or not. Biting his nails, the man in glasses is shocked by the group's audacity. Praising their strength, he admits that those players are on another level. Looking at the monitor, the screen announces that the broadcast has successfully resumed. Checking the data, the man can't believe the channel's absurd engagement. Lying on the floor, his companions can hardly believe they survived the chaos. Smiling calmly, the MC gets up, proving that victory is his. Reading the alert, the system warns that being taken out in the dungeon is permanent. Thinking quickly, the MC decides to risk it, since leaving now would be a waste. Activating his defense, he changes the achievement to strengthen his magic barrier. Hearing the roar, the golem's strike explodes against the shield of light. Smiling excitedly, the guy then admits that the fight is going to be fun.